If you have a data engineering interview coming up, let me save you from the most common mistake, preparing like you are learning everything. That's not preparation, that's panic with Wi-Fi. Hello everyone, welcome to Big Data Factory. I am Pranit and I have over 4 plus years of experience working as a data engineer. In this video, I will give you a simple, beginner-friendly preparation plan that works even if you have a limited time. And stay till the end because I will give you 7-day schedule so you can copy paste plus a quick what to say framework so you don't freeze during the answers. Here is the truth. Most data engineers are not testing how many tools you know. They are testing 3 things. Number 1, can you write correct SQL under pressure? Number 2, do you understand how Spark behaves at scale, especially performance? And number 3, do you understand the AWS basics that matter for data pipelines? If you prepare for these 3 buckets in the right order, you will feel confident instead of overwhelmed. And all before that, prepare about yourself. This is the first main question that decides your first impression. When the interviewers ask, tell me about yourself, start with your name, study, and then jump into your career, like where you are started and where you are now, and explain in detail in which projects you have worked and what is your contribution to it and what skills you use it there. Let's jump to SQL because SQL is the fastest filter in interviews. And you don't win SQL interviews by memorizing syntax. You win by mastering patterns. If you learn just 5 patterns, you will cover a huge portion of real interview questions. Pattern 1, latest record per user using row number over partition by and filtering Rn equals to 1. Pattern 2, top n per group, again using ranking functions. Pattern 3, deduplication with tie breaks, meaning you can explain what happens when timestamps are equal and how you pick the correct route. Pattern 4, rolling metrics, like 7-day moving sum or rolling average using window frames. Pattern 5, joins, inner versus left, and especially how joins can create duplicates and how you can handle that. If you can do these patterns calmly, you don't just look like you know SQL. You look like you use SQL in real pipelines. Now Spark. This is where many candidates lose points because they answer like a textbook, not try an engineer. Interviews don't care if you can define an RDD, they care if you can explain why jobs become slow, stuck, or expensive. So here is the Spark preparation checklist that gives maximum return. First, partitions. Think of partitions as the number of work pieces Spark can process in parallel. No partitions, no parallelism. Bad partitions, bad performance. Second, narrow versus wide transformations. Narrow transformations usually stay within partitions. Wide transformations usually trigger shuffles. Third, shuffle. This is the real villain. When Spark shuffles, data moves across the network, gets sorted, can spill to disk, and suddenly your simple code becomes a slow job. Fourth, joins. Broadcast join versus shuffle join. You don't need to be genius here, just know the logic. Broadcast join is great when one table is small enough. Shuffle happens when both are big and Spark needs to be redistribute data by king. And finally, the most real-world topic, data skew. The classic job stuck at 95%. Skew happens when one key has a massive amount of data, one partition becomes huge, and one task runs forever. And fifth, Spark optimization techniques. And lastly, cluster configurations like executor cores, number of executors, and executor memory. If you can explain all this and explain fixes to them, you will sound like someone who actually ran Spark jobs, not just watched tutorials. Now AWS, here is your stress relief. You don't need to learn every single service in AWS. For data engineers, you just need pipeline relevant cloud fundamentals. Start with S3, understand that S3 is object storage and that how you write data matters. Partitioning impacts reads and too many small files can make jobs slower. Next IAM, but only at a basic level. You don't need to write policies like a lawyer, you just need to explain that service accesses S3 through rules and permissions. And least privilege matters. Then know the big picture, compute options. What is EMR on high level and what is Gluw at a high level and why companies use EMR or Gluw services. And one single signal you can always add, cost awareness. If you casually mention that shuffles, over partitioning and inefficient reads increase compute cost, you instantly sound more mature than most candidates. Now let's talk about how to answer questions so you don't look blank out in the middle of an interview. Use this simple 3-step answer format. What, why, now. What is the concept in one line, why it matters in real projects, and how do you apply it or debug it. For example, what is a shuffle? It is redistribution of data across partitions. Why it matters? It explains you because network and disk are involved. How I handle it? Reduce unnecessary wide transformations, check join strategy, and validate partition. This structure turns nervous answers into confident answers. Now the promised 7-day preparation plan. Day 1, SQL patterns, latest per key, top n, basic window functions. Day 2, SQL joins plus dedupe, practice joins that create duplicates and learn how to fix them. And day 3, Spark fundamentals, partitions, transformations, and what triggers shuffle. And day 4, Spark joins plus skew, broadcast versus shuffle join, how to identify skew, what 95% struct means. And day 5, AWS basics, S3 partitioning concepts, IAM roles conceptuality, Gluw versus EMR at a high level. And day 6, mock interview day. Speak your answers out loud. Seriously, out loud. Because interviewers test communication, not silent reading. Day 7, revision. Read the questions you got wrong and write a one-page cheat sheet. If you can explain your cheat sheet without looking into it, you're ready. And here is the final motivation. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be prepared in the right direction. Most candidates waste time by learning modern tools. But you are building the core patterns that interviewers repeatedly test. If you want, I can make this into a part 2 with a downloadable checklist format and practice questions, comment checklist. And tell me your level, either student or 0 to 2 plus years of experience or about 2 years of experience. And if you haven't watched my real interview experiences playlist yet, check my real interview experiences video next. Because you will see how these exact topics show up in real questions. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, bye bye.